What's going on, and welcome back to Sophisticated Minds. I am your host, Eric Sanchez. And today, he needs no introduction. He's been with us before. You all over the internet, you all over TV. But for those of you that don't know, this is Gene Deal.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming back.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of
No
great
doubt.
responses from the last time you were with us. First and foremost, again, congrats on the continued success.
Thank you.
Raw Deal, The Last Big Night. All 3 installments, over 6 million views in total. Getting great responses. Not only on the internet, a few publications have carried it, but that's what we really want to talk about today because for some reason, there's been lack of coverage, especially from the mainstream media here in New York City. You went from great numbers on YouTube to working on the special with Ice-T on Fox.
Correct.
And then also working on a recent A&E 6-part series on Who Killed Tupac.
Right.
But yet the New York media doesn't seem to acknowledge what you've done so far, Gene. Why do you think that is?
Well, in total, let me just correct something. It's 6 million views of all the things that I've done so far in the last 8 months. But it's it's over 1 million and something for Raw Deal.
For Raw Deal,
the
okay.
first, second, and third installment altogether. That's not counting what it did on World Star and other media outlet, Top Buzz and whatever your outlet. So I appreciate the people going through it because the thing about it is I wanted to get my documentary out, like I said before, but because of certain circumstances I couldn't. I just gave away the story that a lot of people are getting paid for now. You understand? The Greg Cadians, the Keefe D's, everybody's going to networks and they getting their own shows and telling the story apart about Tupac or either Biggie or whatever like that, and who wasn't actually there. They may have been there on certain scenes or certain situations, but wasn't there on a constant basis. And seeing a lot of things go over time, within a year or two or so like that, going on tours, being in studios, going to parties and things like that. To answer your question regarding the New York media, is that it becomes a thing about dollars and budgets. That Ciroc money says a lot to a lot of these radio stations, these TV programs, and these individuals, and the people who have deals with Ciroc, be it an artist, whether they represent it or a DJ or something like that. I've seen, people turn their heads, but people who love me, if they're getting Ciroc money anyway, they still deal with me, and they still, treat me like the dude I am because, I'm not gonna accept nothing else less than that.
Absolutely.
So, I know it's politics, and I know dude is strong enough, you understand, to stop a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? I had mentioned in my documentary, how he got Wendy Williams off her show in one phone call. So, I know the power, and he had the power back then. Just think what he got right now with the money that he had.
Absolutely.
But listen here, a dollar never made a man. The man made the dollar. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't give a dog shit. How much money he got, what he do, and he knows that about me. You understand? He knows I'm the type of dude that I'll shovel shit for a living. I'm gonna come out with this story and I'm gonna get things done, and it's not just now the Biggie story, you understand? It's the Bad Boy, the life story, everything that this dude did to the people that were surrounded around him, you understand? That these people gave up their lives, their relationships, you understand? Their families, their jobs, and now he's sitting in a certain place and he never paid homage to none of those people, you understand? And I dare people to go ask Wolf Mother, for instance, you understand? Raising them sons, you understand? People like Tone, who was there. People like Ak, who was there, who helped us get in and out of clubs. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if people know who's around there in the 90s, we was in the Palladium, the Tunnel, the Red Zone, the SOBs or whatever. All these clubs we did in New York City, you know, you just couldn't walk in there and in and out of there unless you had a strong team.
Now, we know Puff's influence through television, through radio, but there was a publication, Double XL Magazine, who ran a short clip on part 2 of the documentary. Did they ever reach out to you, or did any other magazine publication ever reach out to you about your story?
I think Double XL reached out to some of my people, but I've never talked to them personally regarding. And that was a little bit brave of them. I guess they won't be getting Ciroc money this month. You know what I'm saying?
No Ciroc advertisements for a little while.
Advertising for a little while. But the thing about it is that, you know, this story can't get old, man. It won't get old. You know what I'm saying? Big music ain't old.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people still bumping their head to it. Pop music ain't old. People still bumping their head to it. You understand? When the truth and all the truth come out, you understand? Then they can rest in peace. But right now, they still turning over in their grave. You know, I heard dudes say, yo, and as long as he keep lying, you understand? I'm going to stay on his ass like white on rice. You understand? He said, oh, Big begged me to go, you know, stay in Cali. I should have let him go to London. He know he a lie and the truth ain't in him. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been documented through other sources as well that Big was never really comfortable going out there at that time anyway.
Well, but not only that, you understand? He made Kirk Burroughs, who at the time was the president of Bad Boy, kill that deal that Big was supposed to get that $2,500 to go to London and everything like that. You know, not just to work on his album, you understand? He made him kill the deal. He was begging. I was in the car with him every time, everywhere he went in Cali. He always begging Big, telling Big, yo, you going to the party, you going this. Yo, when has an artist ever had to beg a producer to go somewhere, you understand, and make his money? You understand?
Yeah.
Big was his own man. So by him telling that lie, you know, somebody should smack the shit out of him and say, yo, man, listen here, man. Come on, stop that. You lying on the dead right now, bro. You lying on the dead. That man ain't never had to beg you to do nothing. So it is what it is with that point. You know, New York media, I understand, you know, and somebody told me Charlemagne was trying to get at him one time and he squashed that. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I understand why he ain't said nothing. Because if he say something, it makes it go viral. It make somebody, you know, somebody else want to talk to me. But it'll eventually come, bro. It'll eventually come whereas that he's going to have to sit there and answer to that. You know, he could talk about, I'm a new person, new love. All right, I give you that. So if you want to be Dr. Love to me or Mr. Love, tell the truth. You understand? Tell the truth, man. Then you become Mr. Love, Dr. Love, Brother Love, whatever love you want to do.
All right. Now, you also worked on a recent 6-part series put together by Ben Crump on the Who Killed Tupac.
Right.
And then you, after being on, I believe it was episode 4, you were on there, right? 3 or 4, episode 3 or 4, you were on.
Somewhere around there.
You had released a short clip, and you stated your piece on how you were, how it was put out to the masses.
Right.
Your comments about Puff and Big's relationship with Pac and how everything went down around the time of Pac's murder.
Right.
I watched the interview. I've spoken to you several times off camera. I felt you were portrayed incorrectly.
Correct.
Your words were put out incorrectly, I should say.
Well, what they did was, it's that old television cut and paste. You understand, for whatever reason, one of the producers, Frank Williams, I think his name Frank Williams, he made the statement when I confronted them at Al Sharpton's National Action Center that it was him who edited it and produced it like that. I was, you know, somewhat ashamed that the part that I played in the documentary, because when I went to you guys to do it wholeheartedly, I did it for the fact that you wanted to know the atmosphere
of Tupac with the East Coast and West Coast. I was in the middle of it. I was through the gunshots, the blood. I pulled Big out the car when he died. I got a call from the people when Tupac died an hour later. I mean, when he got shot an hour later. You understand? And I'm ashamed of how y'all played me.
Tell the people.
I'm just being. I'm ashamed how y'all played me.
And we had a conversation.
You understand? Man, you had a conversation, man.
And tell exactly why, Fred, you thought that what should have came out.
Well, the thing about it is this, is that my words was twisted to exonerate Puffy for his wrongdoing. When he set an atmosphere. Those Suge and Puff set an atmosphere for those kids to lose their lives, bro. I was there. We tried to have meetings that people wouldn't come to the meetings. Mainly Puff. Suge was ready to come to the meetings. The guys out here in New York had Suge ready for the meeting. You understand? They could have saved those kids' life. And I'm ashamed.
And you think,
you understand?
Yeah, and you think, you know, tell them who you were. You were the bodyguard. So they don't know that. You want to let them know?
My name is Gene Gill. I worked for Puff for 12 years. Before it was even Bad Boy. When we used to hang right there on 144th and 8th Avenue, same gang, D. Ferg right across the street. You understand? ASAP Ferg father. I was in the midst of all of it. And I went there hoping that they didn't ask the right questions. And if you guys gonna go think that Orlando Anderson killed Tupac, you better listen to the people that was behind Tupac's car. You understand? And said what came out the window and what they saw come out the window. You're not listening.
Which he don't know, if I wasn't in the situation that I am today and about to retire, and I was who I was way back then, he'd have caught the beat down.
He would have never got a chance to apologize.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been no apology because you was being a snake, bro. You know what I was saying about dude. You knew what I was talking about, and if anybody who look at everything I ever said, you could tell where they cut and pasted, because if I'm telling one story, I'm going and telling the whole story. I guess they say, okay, we're gonna use that part, to see that I'm vindicating Puff for any wrongdoing with the Pac situation. You understand?
Absolutely. Now, that day that you confronted Benjamin Crump, did he speak to you off camera about the conversation you guys had for the documentary? And did he offer an apology? Because he was the gentleman that you spoke to across the table, so he knew exactly what you said and how you said it.
Right.
And the way it was portrayed in the documentary wasn't the same way that it was said to him.
Yeah, he didn't have no. He had little autonomy on what was put together.
Yeah, but
you understand? He's just an actor.
Oh, okay.
He acting right now. You understand? So as long as he look good, he feel good. You understand? But like, I get my word from my nuts, man, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It come from my heart. And on my word and what I say, I give up my right arm, man, and my fucking heartbeat. You understand? I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to another man. Confront me. Look me in my eye and tell me I'm telling a lie. It's not gonna happen, because they know the truth. You understand?
Absolutely.
I'm willing to, you know what I'm saying? I live and die on what I say, bro. You understand? And I know God ain't finished with me yet. So it's a lot of stuff that I want to say. It's a lot of things that I'm going to say. And you know what I'm saying? And when I retire in June, people going to get a full of it. Every story I know, everything I know, from the day Bad Boy was starting and I was a part of it, I'm going to tell. I'm even going to tell some street things. You understand? I'm going to tell some the same gang story, Slick and the Family, 12th Street Posse, No Fear. You understand? Things that was going on in Harlem. You understand? But people have the wrong misconception, of who was around in Harlem and what they was doing.
And what was really going on.
What was really
there.
going on. You got the pranksters and you got the gangsters. A lot of these kids who's coming out here, a lot of these people they pranksters, bro. They wasn't doing it like they say they was doing it. A lot of people was getting money. It was a lot of money out there. But to say that they had the power in the streets, nah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those cats wouldn't bust a grape in a wine factory or fight their way out of a wet paper bag. But they sit up and talk about how gangster and this, that, and the third. Nah, bruh.
There's a USA special that's coming out now, revolving around the murders of Big and Pop. Were you ever contacted for that?
Not at all. No. Greg Kading tried to contact me for Murder Rap. If you look at Murder Rap, he used my name all through there to try to, I would say, justify or legitimize his project. You understand? He never got in contact with me because he knew that I was totally against what a lot of things he was saying. He was he was a part of those crooked cops who was illegally taping me on the interview that they had with me, first of all. Second of all, he got some of the information from a deposition that I did for Ms. Wallace. You understand? When she was suing them. Third and most important, he's trying to cover LAPD involvement, because he's an ex-cop for LAPD, involvement in the wrongdoing of Biggs. You understand? Because now if LAPD is found guilty of doing any wrongdoings, their employees using scanners, monitors, or vehicles, or whatever they was doing, if they found guilty of doing any of that, playing any part in Biggs' murder, Big Mother is suing them for multi-million dollars. So he has to discredit that theory of Russell Poole. You understand? Which is going to sit back and the people who did the Life USA Today program with him had to buy his story, but they know that shit ain't true. That's why the story that's coming out is a dramatization of the facts, not the facts. They making a movie.
Basically. Why do you think all these networks are so obsessed with the story now? I mean, we're seeing A&E getting involved, Fox got involved, obviously USA's getting involved. I mean, we had seen the documentaries in the past, but now these major networks want in on it. Why do you think that's the case?
You know, Pac being a rock and roll star now, by being inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, makes him international. You understand? It makes him international. He's an international star. Big deserve the same thing. You understand? But they're getting involved in it because of revenue and money. If a nobody like me could come back and tell a big story and in 8 months have over 6 million something views, you understand? And I'm on just on one YouTube network, what if my story get out worldwide, nationwide, and other avenues? It's on and popping.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's a good thing as well for Raw Deal, because again, you one of the first speaking on this story and really putting it out there for the masses. You touched on it earlier. You know, you got some things in the works that we're going to get into later on. But one thing I've never gotten a chance to ask you, how has this really affected your life, though, man? Knowing what you know, being around the things you've been around, the affiliation with the bad boy camp, and then just trying to live a regular life. You have a family, you have a wife, you have kids. Like, how did it affect your life?
Well, being ostracized by people that you gave up your life for, you know, if I wasn't the man that I was, and it would really have put me in a nut house or something like that. But I always put myself as 10 times the normal man. You understand? I don't look at what you got, how you dress, and judge you as a man. The fuck I care about what you got on. You understand? What I care about what you got in your pocket is what I could do for myself and my family. You understand? The only time it hurts me is when I had to go to arbitration hearings for my job, knowing that I put myself on the line and now I'm suspended from work. You understand? And I got to pay all my coverage. I got to pay, I got to make this mortgage. You understand? My kids is in school. So now I got to work at this club, work at this, you know what I'm saying, drive this person this place, do all the shit that I gotta do, when if I was just normal and had a normal life, you know, and not been involved in this whole bad boy, this stuff, this whole street shit like that, you know, my job pays over $80-something thousand a year. You understand? I would have had a good life. I still would have had a good life. You understand? So, and then, you know, you got these creeps that'll vandalize your shit, won't come to your face. You understand? They think something, they'll cut your tires, they'll bust your window. You understand? Because a lot of people at first thought that I was Big's bodyguard. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
Which was far from true.
Yeah, you were getting backlash from people who didn't know the story.
Didn't know the story. You understand? So they didn't understand that Puff ran with us with the same gang, and you know, I was always there for Puff. But I would have gave my life for Big. You understand? I would like people to know, and in the documentary you would have seen the intimate part of me and Big had the last week he was alive. And how I feel, you know, knowing I could have saved this kid that night. You understand? You don't know that when God put you someplace to do something, and you know you're supposed to do it, and you don't do it, you understand? You allow another person, you allow revenue that you getting, decide what you know is right. That's why I got to go on this crusade, bro. I feel that had I stayed out the car like I knew it, how I rode on the top of the side of the car like I wanted to, how I walked to the corner like I should have. I said this before, it may not have been that night. I would have did what God put me there to do. And people will never understand what I go through in my heart. You understand? I went through trials and tribulations behind shit that I really had nothing to do with. Just by being there and being a stand-up guy. Dude never came. Yo, bro, I could tell you stories. You understand? I could tell you stories right now that you'll say, damn. And I came through for dude. Well, he would have been sitting behind bars. I'm dead up serious, bro. 3 hots in a cop. You understand? And I came through. It was like, because I can always say I didn't know, or I forgot, or I don't remember. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, we're going to save those stories because I know it's a project that you're going to be putting together sometime this summer.
Yeah.
Possibly around the summertime.
I retire in June. You
So-
understand?
Summer 2018 could be a hot summer.
It's going to be a hot
It's going
summer.
to be a hot summer.
It's going to be scorched. It's going to be burning. You know, like, listen here. Maybe Efren or one of these other projects will put some money behind it. You know what I'm saying? And help get the truth out of there. You know what I'm saying? Help the truth come. I just want everybody to know everything. You know, we got this whole thing in our community. You understand? And I'm finna drop some jewels on you.
Okay.
You know, in our community, yo, if you see something or you say something, you snitching.
Which is not always the case.
But bro, let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you the definition of snitching. All right? I'm gonna give you it comes in 3 categories. It comes in 3 categories, right? A snitch is an individual that's telling something about another individual, whether he know him or not, to get out of his situation with the law. Do you hear me?
Absolutely.
It's an individual that law enforcement has a case against, but he goes and tell on another individual that he knows personally or not to get out of his situation. All right? A rat is an individual that does a crime with you, does a crime with different members, different people. He knows you. Y'all ate off the same plate. Y'all ran in the same circles. You feel me? And he turns snitch, or he turns against you and give the law enforcement all this information to save himself. That's a rat. A CI is a confidential informant. And he's doing his job because he's been paid to be there to tell whatever he know against you. Right? You got this other person that's a citizen. If you do your crime around him, if you sell drugs on his stoop, you understand? You come in and you shoot up and you kill somebody in front of him, he has the right to say what he want to say or do what he want to do and to bring you to justice. He's a citizen. You understand? Mm-hmm. You're not going to come where I live at and commit a crime, shoot up, sell drugs in front of people's houses, stuff like that, and the whole block ain't going to say nothing to you. Or the police ain't going to lock you up. Because that's what citizens at. We got citizens right here in Harlem, in Brooklyn. If you do a crime in front of them, they have the right, if they choose to say whatever they want to say. That's your bag, bro. That's on you.
You're absolutely right about that, man.
They try to get us fucked up. Yo, that nigga snitch, that nigga telling them. Man, get out of here with that.
No, you 100% right about that, man. Gene, anything else you got coming out before the summertime that you want the people to be aware about? Obviously, we want them definitely to go check out Raw Deal, Last Big Night. Right. Keep supporting the project.
Thank you.
But is there anything else you're working on before the summer that the people can anticipate from you?
Well, I'm just going to tell one story that they can look forward to.
Okay.
It's about my man Wolf, basically. I see 50 is doing this thing with BMF, with Meechnum and like that. Spent a lot of time around Meechnum a couple of times right there. Had a couple of situations where me and him had conversations and everything like that. And I'm going to tell a story, and it's going to be played on Wisdom Clear, and it's going to be played on MREC TV. Shout out to MREC. Right. About a situation, conversation me and Meech had about Wolf. Then I'm going to get into, in June, the real reason why that thing went down that night and how it went down between him and Wolf. Wolf and Meech. The part I knew about, you understand, what I was aware of. And that's all going to be with MREC and Wisdom Clear? No, that may not be on MREC and Wisdom Clear. Okay. We're trying, I'm getting with the team, and they want to start a thing called Deal With It, OG, Original Guru. And I could go back and tell the stories of the 90s, the block parties in Harlem, the King Dome basketball tournament, the Rucker, tell stories about some of the gangsters, the pranksters, everything that was happening in Harlem through the 90s up into 2004. Different situations, different people, you understand? Things I've been involved with. It's from A to Z, man. They know. All right, well, y'all definitely need to check that out. Summer 2018, it's going to definitely be a hot one. Legend in 2 games. My man Big Gene Deal, we appreciate you, my brother. We definitely going to do it again. All right. Sophisticated Minds.